Welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan, and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. Welcome to Wednesday, people. And for God's sake, for Pete's sake, for the sake of your eyes, for the sake of sleeping soundly for the rest of your days on this earth, whatever you do, don't look up. Yes, we're moving under Colossus as we speak, and it's that classic colossal conundrum. What is he wearing? Well, we don't know. We just don't know, do we? But I think that we should err on the side of caution. So don't look up. Keep your peepers pointed forwards, not upwards. Look anywhere you fancy, as long as it's not up. Down is okay. Well, actually, down isn't okay, is it? If you look down, then you won't be able to see the TV screen, will you? Okay, so up is out and down is out, but that still leaves left and right, doesn't it? Well, now that I think about it, that's a problem area too, isn't it? I mean, if you look left and right, then you'll only be able to see the TV with one of your eyes, at most. It's a problem. All right, let's sort this out. Let's say no to up, no to down, a big yes to looking straight ahead, and if you have to, you can glance to the left and the right from time to time. How's that? Okay? In that case, we can get started on Wednesday's mini revision session. Let's go! Now, are you all ready? Are you all ready for another week of English? Well, let's hope so, because I am. Yes, I'm here, I'm ready, and I'm willing. So, if you're all ready too, let's make a start. Yes, last lesson we looked at the past simple and past participle forms of some irregular verbs, didn't we? Yes, and we were thinking of putting them into different groups, weren't we? Yes, and I had a brilliant idea of calling the groups Group Monkey, Group Banana, and Group Giraffe. But that idea wasn't a great success. I don't know, some people have no sense of fun. Anyway, we'll continue with the idea, the boring, tedious, dull idea of calling the groups Group 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so can we all remember which group was which? Group 1 is the group where the infinitive, the past simple form, and the past participle are the same. Group 2 is the group where the past simple form and the past participle are the same. And Group 3 is the group where the infinitive, the past simple, and the past participle are all different. So, let's have another look at the verbs we added to Group 1, shall we? Cost, cost, cost. Cut, cut, cut. Hit, hit, hit. Let, let, let. Shut, shut, shut. All right, now let's check that we all know the meanings of those verbs, okay? All right, so with the verb to cost, we're communicating that to get something or to use something requires money. How much does a ticket to Mishkort's cost, for example? Okay, and what about cut? Well, the verb to cut has got lots of meanings. I can cut my food before I eat it. And there we all know that I'm talking about using cutlery, a knife and a fork, to divide my food into smaller pieces before I put it into my mouth. But we can also think of cut as what a hairdresser or a barber does to hair. They use scissors to make hair shorter. Okay, and on we go. Next, we've got the verb to hit. And we know that if I make part of my body, like my hand, or something I'm controlling, like my car, come into contact with something, then I hit that thing. All right. But we also know that a rocket or a missile, and a missile is just a more intelligent rocket, strikes a target, then we say that it hit the target. Okay, what have we got next? The verb to let. And what's a synonym for let? Well, allow. If I don't stop you from doing something, then I let you do it. My mum let me go to the party. All right, what's next? Aha, the last one on our list, the verb to shut. And what does it mean? Well, it's a synonym for the verb to close, isn't it? The opposite of the verb to open. When we shut something, we move it so that it blocks an opening. All right, now, just so we can have a little bit of practice, try to put the correctly conjugated form of these verbs into the right sentence. Number 1, remember to doodle-loo the door when you leave for work. Number 2, he never doodle-loo the window at night, so I often wake up shivering. Number 3, when the surgeon was about to doodle-loo the patient's leg off, someone sneezed, achoo, and the surgeon accidentally doodle-loo his own hand off. Number 4, the private put in the wrong information and the missile didn't doodle-loo the target. It missed. Number 5, when the general heard that the missile missed the target, he doodle-loo the private with a chair. All right, so they're pretty easy, aren't they? Well, let's see how you all got on. Which verb are we going to use for the first one? Well, what's the sentence talking about? It's about a door, isn't it? Yes, it's about a door and someone's giving an instruction on what to do. So, which verb are we going to use? Yes, there's only one verb we can use, isn't there? Yes, the verb to shut. Let's see it. Remember to shut the door when you leave for work. Easy. We're telling someone to remember something, so we're using the form of remember plus infinitive with to. And that means that the conjugation is very simple. There isn't any. Remember to open the door, remember to shut the door, remember to lock the door, remember to brush your teeth, remember to remember. Simple. Next. All right, what about the next one? It's a sentence about a window. Well, what do you think? Yes. Look at the second half of the sentence. What does that tell us? What information can we get out of the second part of the sentence? Well, we can see that this is something which happens at night, and the person is complaining that they often wake up. So that must mean that we're talking about someone being in bed and having a problem with being able to sleep or stay asleep. And why? Because they wake up shivering. Okay, well, what's the verb to shiver? To shiver is when you shake a little bit with no control, normally because you're cold, frightened, or excited. But normally it's because you're cold. And you all remembered to add the S to the end of the infinitive, didn't you? Yes, that's right. It's the present simple, and the subject is the third person singular. And that, as we all know, means that we have to add an S to the infinitive. I shut the door, you shut the door, but he shuts the door, she shuts the door, and it shuts the door. And then, obviously, we shut the door, you shut the door, and they shut the door. All right, and on we go to the next one. What do you think? A sentence about a doctor with a knife, a surgeon. Okay, so because we can see that the sentence is talking about a surgeon, I think we can all guess which verb this sentence is about. Can't you? Yes, I think it's the verb to cut. Okay then, let's see what we can do with this one. Kojak. When the surgeon was about to doodle-loo the patient's leg off, someone sneezed, ha-choo! And the surgeon accidentally doodle-loo his own hand off. Okay, not a good day in the theatre, obviously. That's the name of the room where the surgeons work, a theatre. We also have the word surgery, but when we're talking about a doctor's surgery, then we mean the place where a GP works. Okay, and now you're all sitting there gawping at the telly, wondering what the initials GP stand for. Okay, let me explain. GP is the abbreviation that the Brits use to refer to a normal doctor. The doctor you and your family go to if you're ill. This doctor is a doctor with lots of general knowledge about the human body, but this doctor isn't a specialist. This doctor doesn't work in a hospital, but in a surgery somewhere in a city, a town, or a village. If you go to this doctor and your problem is too big for the doctor to handle or deal with, perhaps the doctor knows exactly what's wrong with you, but it's possible that this GP doesn't have the equipment at the surgery to deal with the problem. So, if the GP doesn't have the equipment, or if they don't know what the problem is, then this is the doctor who sends or refers you to a specialist who works in a hospital. A specialist is a doctor who continued to study after learning all the normal doctory things, like a surgeon. A surgeon has to learn all the normal doctory things like where to take a pulse and where to test blood pressure, but a surgeon concentrates on how to cut people with a special knife and spends more time practicing cutting into bodies than other doctors who don't want to become surgeons. Okay, so how did we get here? Oh yes, I remember. A doctor's surgery and a theatre. All right. So a normal doctor, the doctor you go to see if you don't feel well, that doctor works in an office sort of thing. And the name for the doctor's workplace is a doctor's surgery. All right, now think about the place where a surgeon works. It's not the same, is it? Okay, now, why is it called a theatre? Well, think about it. What do we normally think of when we think of the word theatre? Yes, that's right. A stage with actors, some good, some bad, pretending to be other people and dancing about on stage in front of an audience. And that's the thing, the audience. People are watching what's happening. And this is what they originally did with surgery. Back in the old days, surgeons used to teach other doctors by performing surgery in front of them. The surgeon would perform an operation and would tell the other doctors, the ones in the audience, what was happening. It was a method of teaching. And so, because of the similarities to a theatre, they called it a theatre. And they still do. So, we're in the theatre, and it's not a very good day. The surgeon was preparing to cut someone's leg off. The surgeon is going to amputate someone's leg. Okay, so someone is sleeping on the table and the surgeon has got his special knife, his scalpel, ready to cut the person's leg off, ready to amputate the leg. And then, cerise calamity, purple problem, dark brown disaster, turquoise trouble, somebody sneezed, achoo! And the surgeon was surprised, so surprised by the sneeze, by this sudden noise, that his hand jerked. And he missed the leg. And it gets worse. Not only did he miss the leg, but he managed to cut something else off. His own hand. Blimey, crikey, whoops. The person who sneezed will probably apologize to the surgeon later on. Maybe they'll buy him a present to say sorry. I hope so. All right, so the surgeon's having a bad day, but we're not. We can see clearly that there are two gaps in that sentence, but as we can see, it's the same verb, twice. Let's see it. When the surgeon was about to cut the patient's leg off, someone sneezed, and the surgeon accidentally cut his own hand off. All right, well, the first gap has got two in front of it, so we can see that we need the infinitive there. But what about the second one? Why is there no S on the end? It's the third person singular, isn't it? Yes, but which tense are we using? Yes, it's the past simple, isn't it? Cut for all the subjects. And that's us for the day. Yes, it's time for us to wrap things up and head off home. Yes, there's coffee to be drunk. There's a coffee with my name on it somewhere in the kitchen. Okay, people, I'm off home, but we'll be back tomorrow with another mini revision lesson for you all. So, remember to tune in tomorrow. Same time, same place. And if anyone bumps into Chief Mangasuta Buthelezi, tell him that I'm still waiting for a response to my friend request. Come on, Chief. Sort it out, mate. All right, people, have fun. Have a wonderful time, and I'll see you all tomorrow. See you later. www.mediaclick.hu. Bye.